Hey everyone, before the story begins, please take a second to subscribe to the channel and support more real, emotional stories like this. It truly helps more than you know. My wife said she was going out. It was the way she said it that ended our marriage. We were living in a narrow brick townhouse in Ghent, not far from the canal where cyclists glided past like silent metronomes. Autumn had begun to rot the leaves into the gutters, and the air smelled of rain and cold metal. Elise stood in the doorway tying her scarf, already halfway gone, her voice light, careless. "I'm going out for a bit," she said. Not where, not with whom, not when she'd be back. After 13 years, I knew that tone. It wasn't freedom, it was distance. Our son, Lucas, was at his grandmother's that weekend. The house felt too large without his noise, like a cathedral after the bells stopped ringing. I watched Elise's reflection in the hall mirror as she put on lipstick, something she hadn't done for me in months. "Dinner?" I asked. She paused, just long enough to be polite. "Don't wait up." The door closed softly. No slam, no drama, just the sound of finality. I didn't follow her. I stayed at the kitchen table, staring at the 2 mugs we hadn't washed since morning. Outside, rain started to fall, blurring the streetlights into pale halos. I knew, in that quiet moment, that something old and poisonous had finally come back to collect its debt. Because Elise hadn't just married me. She had married into my family's sins. My father, Henri, had once owned half the logistics companies moving freight through the port of Antwerp. He built an empire on broken contracts and crushed competitors. When he died of a stroke, everyone pretended he had been a brilliant businessman. Only we knew the truth. He had ruined people, including Elise's father. Her father's shipping firm collapsed after my father undercut him and spread rumors to banks. He drank himself into the grave 2 years later. Elise never said it outright, but I saw it in her eyes whenever my father's name came up. Love can survive many things. Resentment grows quietly. When we married, I believed we were choosing each other over the past. I believed love could be stronger than blood. I was wrong. That night, she didn't come home. She texted at dawn. Just 3 words. "We need space." Space, as if what stood between us wasn't a canyon carved by old men and unspoken blame. She moved into a rented flat near St. Peter's Station, said she needed to breathe. Lucas asked why Mommy wasn't coming home. I told him grown-ups sometimes need time to fix things. He nodded like he believed me. Children are generous with trust. Then the letters from lawyers began. Elise wanted divorce, full custody, and this was the part that tasted like rust. She wanted to contest ownership of the townhouse, claiming my inheritance was built on stolen wealth that morally belonged to her family. I realized then that this wasn't just about leaving. This was about settling scores that had waited decades, and I felt something in me harden. I work as an urban planning consultant. I know how cities hide their bones, how beautiful streets are laid over old wounds. I also know how paper trails never truly die. So I started digging into my father's past, not to defend him, but to understand how deep the rot went. Bank records, shell companies, property transfers across Luxembourg and the Netherlands. I spent nights in municipal archives, the smell of dust and ink soaking into my clothes. What I found was worse than I imagined. My father hadn't just ruined Elise's father, he had orchestrated it, using forged compliance reports to trigger audits, then buying distressed assets through proxies. And someone had helped him from inside Elise's father's company. That someone was Elise's uncle, Peter, the same uncle who had paid for her university, the same uncle who cried at our wedding. He had sold out his own brother for a quiet payout and a seat on my father's board. Elise didn't know. I was certain of it. Her grief was real, her anger justified. But the truth would shatter the story she had built her entire life around. I could have told her. Instead, I waited. Because revenge, I learned, is not about anger. It is about timing. The custody hearing approached. Elise's lawyer painted me as the heir to a corrupt dynasty, a man benefiting from generational theft. I sat quietly, hands folded, while she spoke with controlled passion about justice and history. I saw the doubt in the judge's eyes. So I made my move. 2 weeks before the hearing, I leaked documents to a financial journalist in Brussels. Anonymously, cleanly. Every contract, every signature, every offshore transfer, with Peter's name woven through it all. The article hit on a gray Tuesday morning. Family betrayal at heart of Antwerp shipping collapse. The headline read. By noon, Peter had resigned from 3 boards. By evening, police had opened an investigation. Elise called me that night, voice shaking. Did you know? Yes, I said. Silence stretched between us, filled only by the hum of the city through the phone. My whole life, she whispered. Everything I believed. I know, I said. And I did. I had believed in love. She had believed in righteous grief. We were both wrong, in different ways. At the custody hearing, her case collapsed. The judge ruled joint custody, with Lucas spending equal time in both homes. Elise didn't fight it. She looked smaller somehow, like someone who had lost not just a battle, but the map of the world. But I wasn't done, because my father's crimes hadn't died with him. The money still moved. The property still paid out. And legally, I was the beneficiary, so I donated most of it, not publicly, quietly, to the workers who lost pensions, to small firms that collapsed, to scholarship funds for children whose families were destroyed by corporate games. And I made sure Elise knew, not as a gesture to win her back, but to remove the shadow she could never escape while tied to me. We met once more, in winter, by the frozen canal. Lucas was building crooked snowmen with his gloves soaked through. I don't hate you, she said, but I don't know how to forgive the past. You don't have to, I replied. Just don't let it own you. She nodded, eyes bright with unshed tears. We stood there, 2 people who had loved each other and lost to ghosts neither of us had summoned. Our divorce was finalized in March, when the cherry trees bloomed along the streets like quiet celebrations that felt undeserved. Some nights, alone in the townhouse I would soon sell, I wondered if what I had done was revenge or justice. I had destroyed her family myth. I had exposed a traitor. I had dismantled my father's legacy piece by piece. But I had also lost my marriage, my future as I imagined it, the warmth of ordinary evenings that never make headlines. Revenge, I learned, doesn't give you back what was taken. It only makes sure no one else gets to pretend nothing happened. The last time Elise said she was going out, it was to take Lucas to the seaside in Ostend. She sent me a photo of him with wind-tangled hair and a grin full of salt and joy. For his sake, I hope the past finally rests. For mine, I carry it like a scar that no longer bleeds, but still aches when the weather changes. And in that ache, I remember the moment everything ended, not with a scream, not with a fight, but with a simple sentence, spoken lightly, that closed a door forever.